What's up, Bueller Buys? It's Leland again. In my last video, I talked about how I like to trade reversals, but I also kind of skimmed over how you could potentially trade continuation with kind of the same concepts. And today is like a perfect day of how you would want to look for that type of stuff. So basically, you can see the market started off with this huge pump from CPI news, but then immediately started selling off from open. So what I would want to look for to trade continuation on a day like this is to see, like, you start to see higher lows and higher highs, or excuse me, yeah, a higher low like this one, and then it try to make a higher high but immediately get rejected and make a new lower low. So basically what's happening there is buyers are trying to step in to take it higher and getting stopped out or slammed down by sellers here. So where you'd want to be entering is this failed high. Now obviously this is pretty early in the morning to know that it's going to continue to sell off, but as you can see, it just continued. And so one of the trades that I took today, I can't remember the exact percentage, was another example here. So right around here is when it stopped making this trending market of lower lows and lower highs, right? You can see right here, there's the low of day, and it failed to go lower here. So basically what I was looking for is a failed higher high, or potentially to break a new low. So we can see here there was one kind of failed high. It tried to take out this high and couldn't. That was a potential good trade there. Or even better, this is when I personally got into a trade, was right here. You had this kind of spike in volume over that high that was tried a couple times and then immediately pushed back down by sellers. So where I got in was I saw this inside bar form, which is a nice like sign of consolidation before the next potential move. And as soon as this low broke with this bar is when I got into puts, and I was targeting this low of day or lower levels from the beginning of this pump during pre-market. So we can see what happened here. And we got nice rising volume on this candle, another consolidation candle, not telling us anything, just to keep holding, more consolidation, and then again more rising seller volume, a little wick but nothing too concerning, and keep getting selling. There we go, there's what we were looking for. So you can see that when buyers tried here, basically what was happening is they were providing volume or liquidity for people who were short selling or sellers, right? So that this fake out right here, people getting trapped, they're saying, okay, I'm gonna go long here and set my stop loss at this low, or yeah, they're going long with stop losses down here. And what's happening is sellers are obviously in control of this day, right? Like they're continuing down. So right around here is when these buyers are getting stopped out, and now they're selling also, adding to this volume, high volume push, right? So this is where I was taking profit, like I said, on that trade. I'm not sure what the percentage was. I think it was like 70% or something like that. And then you can see it just continued. See, there's another one. So a low was made. It held, failed to go lower. So buyers pushed up, failed to go lower again. Here's a higher high. You can And the reason you can call this a like swing high or pivot high is because even though it's slight, there's this red pullback here. So once buyers pushed up above this again, you can see it's the same exact scenario. Pushed above the high and immediately pushed down. And there's an inside bar there, which is another like actionable signal. So you can get in when this low breaks and it has rising volume, and you can target that previous low that failed to go lower. And if that breaks, see, it's the same thing. Buyers getting in here, they're saying, okay, if it goes down here, I'm going to stop out, or even more, I'll stop out here. And as soon as it gets to these levels, you can see these buyers are selling, adding to that selling pressure. And just continues down. So this is kind of how I like to trade continuation on days that seem to just be consistently going in one direction, is to look for these like little pops to fail, and then they just get shorted to death. So another trade I took, which just happened, which was for 115%. Let me find it and delete some of these lines. As you can see, I've been marking highs and lows consistently throughout the day, looking for these like kind of pops and rejections. See, even right there with this high breaking, like there's this tiny little high right here, that wick that popped up provided some liquidity for buyers or sellers to push down. Sorry, my screen's lagging. Okay, here's another perfect example. So we had this previous like strong high right there that was created from that same kind of pop and rejection. So I'm going to highlight that, I don't know, orange. And then this, I'm just going to delete this line. And then this high right here. So we had buyers push up above this. It's looking nice for calls potentially, right? It's bouncing off this previous resistance, holding nicely, and then boom, lots of buyers stepping in to take it over this high, right? So you're buying, everybody's buying, looking good, and they're saying, okay, well, I'll set my stop loss there. If it fails there, I'm going to get stopped out, or maybe here, I'll stop out there. And as soon as it hits that next high, bam, sellers. So those buyers are now also getting stopped out, adding more selling pressure again. So this is not where I entered. I unfortunately missed that. I wasn't looking at the chart, but it's okay. I waited. There's my entry. You can see I waited for this little pullback, kind of lowering buyers there, and then increasing buyers, but you see that top wick. So I didn't enter on this candle, but as soon as I saw this one starting to sell off and break this low is when I entered. So I entered, let me check the contract. I entered the same day, 400 puts, got filled at 39 cents. And then just, I mean, you can see it's that same concept right there. Even this little swing high of this green candle pushed above that, trapped buyers, sellers slam them down, they start stopping out. That's what creates all this high volume selling. So anyways, within 2 minutes I was already up 90%. So I sold 4 contracts there for 71 cents, continued down, and I can see, I mean, there's the huge 400 level. That's the level everybody's looking at, right? It looks like, yeah, barely went in the money for like maybe a half a second. I missed that tiny bit of gamma, but I sold my last 3 there for 115%. I knew buyers were gonna keep trying to defend this level just because there's like some demand that got created here. Um, it could have potentially gone for the low of day, but I wasn't trying to risk it. It's already power hour, and if I even on this little bounce right here, I'm sure the contracts were just toast. Like they were probably less than that 90% that I originally sold for right here on this bounce. So I was happy with 115% there. And you can see, yeah, buyers ended up holding. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I wanted to cover today. If you have any questions on that, if I wasn't clear, feel free to tag me in chat or send me a DM. Thanks.